Hi guys, it seems that criticizing the inheritance verses in the Quran has sparked some interest in Muslims who all seem to think they understand them, but when pushed for explanations refer to others and essentially my own research. Why is it that I need to do the research to deflate the claims Muslims make about their own book? Why don't they come up with a clear and precise line of reasoning and proof? A helpful Muslim called Orgo Orlia Italia has come to the rescue. His name always conjures up the wonderful smell of olive trees in the Italian Tuscany. But let's concentrate on the issue at hand. He pointed me to a comprehensive and intellectually stimulating paper on the inheritance laws of the Quran. It is written by an associate professor, Dr. Engineering Halis Aydemir from Erzurum in eastern Turkey. I remember the city well as I had a near-fatal car crash there a long time ago when two trucks approached us side by side. Not a pleasant memory at all. But the guy writing it is the issue, not some stupid Turkish truck drivers. Our good doctor even has a Wikipedia page, albeit marked for deletion, as the academic claims are unsubstantiated. I was initially in awe of this proper textual analysis of the 3 verses in the Quran regulating inheritance, spread over 415 pages. His page numbering seems to be a bit of a problem, as the PDF has 415 pages, yet his pages are numbered down to, 503, leaving me wondering what is in those almost 100 missing pages. Reading this document, I found everything that an analyst can dream of, and the tables at the end were comprehensive and convincing. I was close to deleting my inheritance video to take time to have a longer think about this and verify my own approach, when I spotted the catch. It's a simple magic trick, the mechanism of which I remember James Randi talking about: deception, refocusing, deceit and distraction, all required to perform a magic trick. And this paper is just that, a simple magic trick. And now I know why his academic credentials are restricted to the social sciences of the Hadith, and his associate professorship is on the narration theories, and that the title of his document on inheritance is Division of Inheritance, Samples Looking for a Publisher. Yet, in Wikipedia it is listed under books. But I don't want to launch an ad hominem here, as the contents might still be better than the academic credentials and presentation. Reading the paper, I loved the initial setup and the clear presentation of the verses in the Quran and the supplementary texts of the Ahadith. I loved the structured approach of his grouping of ayahs and associated verses. I loved the clear correlation of the groups and their corresponding verses. I absolutely loved the rational thinking behind the starting of simple and then digging in deeper to the more intricate examples. It was too good to be true. And then, after reading it for the 5th time, I realized that it was too good to be true. I now realize that the building up of the premises was the distraction that James Randi mentioned. I realize that the apparently so logical approach was actually the deception. I realized that he managed to smuggle in a translation of an Arabic word which he interprets as meaning however. Regardless of whether that word can in fact mean however, he uses it to split an inheritance into phases. So if, for example, there are 3 daughters, they inherit 2/3 of an estate, and then the parents get 1/6 each, and then anyone else, which reduces the portions and makes an oversubscription very unlikely. But what this means is that the Quran would have a structure like an inverted triangle, working top down. But, there's a but. The Quran is not structured or logical. The estate in this model is sliced up into portions top down. So as the slices are assigned to a person or a group of persons, the size of the slices decreases. But the Quran does nothing to support this model. And what happens if you have contradicting verses, like in 4:12, if a man or woman have no heir but have a brother or sister, to each of the 2 a 6th. And then later in 176 it says, if a man perishes having no children but he has a sister, she shall receive a half of what he leaves. And does she get a 1/6 or a half, or is it first come, first serve? Or is the or in 4:12, brother or sister, interpreted as and this time around, since and or are so flexibly utilized, thus making 4:12 inapplicable as a brother is present? All what Dr. Ademir is doing is making sure the estate is not oversubscribed, leaving the remaining portion to the community. That's the whole trick. The fact that it does not accurately divide up the estate does not faze him the least. And the title page itself contains a safety net. No error in Quran according to Quran. Also, if I enter any of his models or examples into the Islamic inheritance calculator, it always displays different results, showing that the Quran does not accurately define inheritance, but leaves it up to us poor humans to come up with a solution. In a further step, Dr. Ademir introduces direct and indirect shares, catering for what is not covered in the Quran, so that the onus is again on humans to make up for the inaccuracies of the book. I'm certain the good doctor would be able to spend hours or entire books trying to explain his apologetics, but at the end of the day, the question I ask at this stage will remain unanswered. Why, if the Quran was created by a perfect God and is so eloquent and comprehensive, does it require human intervention to make it better? Half of Dr. Ademir's paper consists of templates. Well, they should have been included in the Quran in the first place to make inheritance clear and precise. Alas, they are not. All we are left with are 3 badly constructed religious verses. Then the biggest joke is in his conclusion, where he brazenly and unashamedly claims that the division in these verses is totally systematic and precise, as every heir is adequately considered, still leaving sufficient flexibility for complicated situations. And then he applauds the eloquent language used. Now, why did I have problems understanding these eloquent sentences? You know not which out of them is nearer in profit to you. What does that have to do with inheritance? Or she shall receive a half of what he leaves, and he is her heir if she has no children. Yeah. Why does he think other humans can't think and that nobody will ever look at his explanations critically? My own conclusion is that this is just another attempt at rescuing the poorly written text of the Quran and the haphazard distribution of an estate which only works to a certain extent and only when humans intervene and improve the decrees. Thank you for your time.